Can hear you nice and clear. How is Sweden this morning or this evening or this afternoon?
It's this evening.
It's early morning here, about 9 a.m. almost.
Yeah. Where are you at?
Alaska.
Oh, that's a completely different time zone.
Oh, very much so, even for me. I've been here 4 years and I'm still getting used to it. So,
All right.
well,
Yeah.
welcome. We're going to
Thank
talk
you.
about a new album from Jonas Lindberg and the Other Side.
Yeah.
So, follow up to your 2022 album. Tell me about it. Time frames.
Um, this album, yeah. Well, it's I've been working on it since I've been working on the song since right before the last one, Miles from Nowhere, came out, and it's I don't know. It's hard to say much about
Well,
it.
to call it progressive rock would be an
Yeah.
understatement. I mean, you've taken a very classic stance on progressive rock, I think.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of music that might be rock with a little progressive or metal with a little, but you no, you're all in. And you play a variety of instruments on the album. So this is, um, I don't know. To me, it's very modern sounding, but it's a throwback as well.
Yeah, well, it's well, the sound, it's I've been listening to bands, from the 70s, like Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple, and those, that kind of rock, and even the Beatles, and also like influences of mine from the 90s or now are Spock Spirit and Flower Kings, and bands like that also have influences from the 70s. So it's kind of like a third generation
Right. It's
of
kind of that
influences. And
timeline, right?
then, yeah, and then also I blend in influences from all over the place, really. Like it comes from folk music and modern stuff that I like, and also I think the modern sound might come from it being recorded today in the computer, and there's unlimited things you can do.
Well, and speaking of, you play a variety of instruments, but you invited some other people on. So that was to fill out with, well, I assume working with other people gives you other ideas and other sounds.
Yeah, like the other musicians are the same musicians that I've used for all, or played with for all the albums that I made, and I like working with them, so I always go back to the same lineup. So it's sort of become a core lineup, but it's, well, I do play a lot of instruments. I see myself primarily as a bass player, and because that's what I play when I'm playing live and working as a freelance musician.
Mhm.
But I work as a guitar teacher, and I played keyboard since I was a kid. So I have all that with me, and to save time, it was just easier if, yeah, I can play this, I should play this. And then whenever I hit a snag or come up with something that I can't play, that I can't, I can't justify playing that myself because it doesn't sound great. The other, like I had three great guitar players playing on the album, so it's easy. Just, yeah, you can play the solo because it's much better when you play the solo. And I'm a terrible drummer, so naturally Jonathan plays all the drums.
I totally get that. I tried to play drums when I was young and became a trumpet player because I'm just a terrible drummer.
But it's also, like it's fun that when other people come and bring their musicality to the songs, something happens, that you didn't think of. Maybe someone comes up with a different groove, or somebody comes up with a different sound, or sometimes it's just like Kalle, who is one of the guitar players. He's really good at just coming up with something strange, a chord or whatever. And sometimes that's just like that happened on Pathfinder. He just played some chords, and I just felt like, well, these should be there instead, of what I'd done, you know. So yeah, it's always interesting, and
Do you find it hard when you're recording with these people on what to keep and what not? I mean, you said it was easy to find somebody to play this part, but I'm sure they give you more than you need, right?
Yeah, like on this, you know, on this album, it was pretty much done when they came along and for example, played the guitar solos or sang the lead vocals, or you know. But I was always open to, you know, like changing stuff around or removing something if they come up with something better. And but it's happened a lot of times before that they have done something that just alters the way the song turns out, you know.
And that's the beauty of music, the magic of music. When guys
Exactly.
get together and play, it just becomes something else.
Yeah, it's much more fun. It
Well, you
would be
called the
boring
album
if I was
Time
the only body.
Frames. Why did you call
What?
it Time Frames?
The title came from, well, I didn't have a title actually, because I was going to, I had booked, I was mixing, I was totally into mixing the album, and I booked the mastering engineer for a date. And the day before, I just realized I don't have a title. I don't know what the album is called. So I just wrote down like 6 or 7 things on the top of my head. And then when he asked me, because that was the first thing he asked me when I came in there, what's the album called? And I said Time Frames, and that was not on the list. So just okay, well, I guess it's called Time Frames now. And my brother was really supportive of that idea. He was like, yeah, then you can do this whole cover art with frames going into frames, you know.
And that's how it turned out, actually.
Yeah, so he gave me that idea and I tweaked it into becoming more spaced out. But then I thought about it, and like the whole album has actually been a lot of time frames, really, sort of mini deadlines, because you know, like I need to be finished with the guitars before Christmas, for example, or because then there's gonna be 3 weeks of not being able to record, or I have this boat, like I recorded a lot of electric guitars on the boat on a cruise. So I was there for 4 days, and I said, well, let's see how many songs I can get while I'm on here. And that would bring the deadline closer, you know. So I had a lot of mini deadlines all the way.
But that's also a different creative space. You're on a boat doing, you know, guitar solos and guitar parts. That gives you another creative avenue, I guess.
Yeah, but that time I already knew what I was gonna play, you know, because I had the demos. The demos are pretty elaborate, so they're almost finished, you know, like that. But I was too stressed out when I did the demos. I couldn't keep anything because the timing was, you know, forward.
Those
And
darn time frames again.
Jonathan was laying a little back, so that's not gonna work, you know. So I had to re-record everything, but I already knew what I was gonna do, and at that time I was only doing basic stuff anyway. I was doing riffs or, you know, like background rhythm guitars or patterns. So all the creative stuff came later when Niklas and Kalle came in.
Now, talk about being creative. I saw your name also on the video credits and stuff. You have a hand in just about all of this, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. It's I'm doing everything but the drums, almost. I'm not singing every song. I'm not playing all the guitars, but I'm pretty much everywhere. I've mixed and I did the videos too. Yeah.
Well, and I noticed on the first single, it's not you singing. You chose one that wasn't you.
Yeah. Well, I'm singing in 3 places. I'm singing 2 songs on the album, and then the epic we sing, all of us sing 1 part each. But I always viewed Jonas Sundqvist as the main singer because he was the main singer since the start, in 2013. So, and that song just felt like this should be the single because it was turned out great.
And it
So there was
kind of
no question
sounds
about it.
like you, kind of sounds like the project.
Yeah, exactly.
You recently released an instrumental. These days, I know a lot of prog guys release instrumentals, but in modern times, do instrumentals do well?
I don't know. I guess we have to wait and see. But we chose that one because it felt like it was a catchy tune.
Right.
And it also sort of captures the vibe of the album, I think, in a good way. Some of the other, like the shortest song on the album, I thought about that one as being the single, but that is one of the songs that are the most. It's a little the most different. Like it's on this corner, and then we have a song on this corner, and the other ones singles are like in the middle, I think, of what the whole album sounds like.
More of a sound than like a concept album or anything. It's more you craft the sound of the entire album.
Yeah, it's not a concept album,
Right.
and uh, like when you write songs. This time, on Miles from Nowhere, I put all the songs on the album that I had at that time, and it turned out great. But on this time, I wanted to write a lot of songs and just pick the ones that felt like they should be there. So I do have leftover tracks that we didn't finish this time, and I think that sort of it becomes a good how do you say it, a good whole.
Right. That you can whittle
The whole of the
maybe down
album,
to the best
yeah,
part.
the whole of the album turns out better if you have a lot of songs, and then you can pick the ones that actually fit together.
And then sequencing, because I know the idea behind sequencing an album to be a listening experience is important to a lot of artists.
Yeah. Yeah, the song order is really important, and that's one of the hardest thing to get right, I think. Because when you have this album, is the length is almost 70 minutes, and to have that length and keep the listener's attention is really hard. So what I found out on the last album was that the song order that works probably is the one where I don't fall asleep, because I've heard the songs for 3 years. So I can't listen to the whole album without falling asleep unless it's in a certain order.
And that's your
But that's usually
no.
the one that wins. What?
And then
Yeah. And then I show it to somebody else, and that's, yeah, well, okay, that works. Maybe this should change place or whatever.
So you talked about the length of the album. How much does it go into your thought on how this is going to be distributed on CD, on vinyl, on streaming services? Do you think about that when you're putting together an album and making it as long as it is, or is it just this is how long the music came out and this, so be it?
Yeah, I probably should think a bit more in terms of vinyl, I guess.
It's a popular thing these days. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
into it, but that would
yeah,
be 3 or 4 sides to get your album out these
yeah,
days.
yeah, yeah. I have the album mastered for vinyl, and it's 4 sides, but I'm still working on how we're gonna manufacture that one. Uh, um, but yeah, I probably should think more in terms of vinyl. But as you said, this is I just made songs, and they became this long, and I was like, yeah, these 7 songs should be there, and that's a problem because all of the songs are really long. So it's 7 songs, but it's 70 minutes. So
So that gives you a kind of an
yeah,
indication.
yeah.
Now the album comes out on November 7th. You excited?
very much. I'm yeah, how do you say it? I'm insanely excited.
Well, we'll post links below so people can pre-order
Yeah.
it since we're doing this before the album comes out. But I gave it a listen this morning. It's really a nice piece of work. I think it's an evolution from your last album.
Yeah, thank you. I'm trying to evolve all the time, when I'm doing stuff, and I think production-wise, this has stepped up a notch since the last one. But yeah, I'm very excited, and it's also really exciting when you have, like, this time I'm totally independent. I don't have a record label backing me on this one, so I'm doing everything myself, and that gives a whole new layer of how excited you can be, I
I was
think.
going to say that's got to be a combination of excited and scared.
Yeah, but I'm not too scared. It's always a little scary sending it out and seeing what the reviewers think. But and so far I haven't seen any reviews yet. But it's always scary with, oh, there's a review. What did they think about it? But so far the reactions of everybody who has listened has been really great.
Well, I got to say, I'm a radio
Always.
guy. So for me, I listen for catchy songs, even with the progressive rock station that we have.
Yeah.
I can play a 12-minute song, I can play a 20-minute song, but it's still got to be, something that somebody's going to hum later on in the day, that they're going to tap their foot to or whatever. And you have a gift for writing catchy songs, no matter the length. From what I've heard so far.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, to me, it always has to be a good song as the foundation. Because if it's not, I always like good melodies and something that is easy listening, so you can catch, like, what would I want to hear when I listen to music? I want to hear something that keeps me like, yeah, this is a great song, and and they did something weird with it, but it's still a great song.
I was impressed with the harmonies. You have a lot of harmonies, and I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I have two great singers in the band, and I sing myself. So I thought, why not do some three-part harmony stuff on this one? Because
I absolutely love that. Yeah.
we have had harmonies before, but not a block of three-part harmony going through a whole section.
Well, like with the first single, yeah, you kind of built up. There was this, and then by the time I was like, wow,
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
really nice.
yeah, yeah. Well, I like harmonies because, like, a cover band that I play with, we have no keyboard player, so harmonies is sort of like the keyboard player. So I've learned to do harmonies, and I also played a lot of bluegrass back in the day. So harmonies are important, I think, and I always like the Beatles. There's harmonies all over the place, and Spock's beard.
Mhm.
So that's something that I always try to
Bluegrass is much more
incorporate.
technical than people think.
Oh yeah, not for the bass player though. We
No, not
keep,
so much.
but that can be harder than you think. Also, like, try play bass with no drummer and keep the timing. That's really hard.
I have a friend who plays bass, and he's a rock and punk fan, but he's playing in a country band just to do something different.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're just getting started with this new album. What are future plans to take with it? Are we going to do more videos? Do we maybe want to do some live stuff?
Well, I have currently I'm making a lot of video content, sort of to go with the album.
Well, the vlogs and everything. I like the studio updates.
Oh yeah, thank you. That was really fun. Just it sort of kept my own, what do you say, interest in all of it. Like, I've kept my own spirit up.
Sure, because recording takes a long time, and you were having fun in the studio. This is the microphone, and we're gonna do this.
Yeah, and there's the camera. So now I need to do something fun, because otherwise it's gonna be. Yeah, I've edited out so much boring stuff out of there. So you just sit and edit. It's like, no, we can't have this.
You know, a lot of people
Yeah,
complain
but
about
I recently did some playthroughs, so I'm gonna put those up. That was really fun, just playing through the music.
I think
And
people love that. One of the things that I think is great about social media, a lot of people complain about it, but we can get one-on-one with the artists now. You can invite us into the studio and you can show us what you're doing. And I think people are starting to, we've always liked the behind the scenes stuff, but these days it feels much more personal.
yeah, and it's I'm watching a lot of these YouTube videos with like Eric Valentine, that the producer, that he invites everybody into his Pro Tool session and shows what he's doing. Like that's a gold mine for me. So I don't know. I just like to, and I also like to make video clips because it's fun. It's sort of like a little bit different than being in the studio and editing music. But yeah, for the future, I'm also gonna see if we can put together some kind of a live show or live dates and see if that turns out well. And
At least play some of the
then
big
just go
festivals
make
if you
more
could get
music.
an invite. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And of course, it's a question of logistics and also money.
A
Like
lot of money these days.
if we can be able to go there, because we're kind of spread out in Sweden, so it's going to be hard to just get together and rehearse. But once we have something to rehearse for, I think it's not going to be that hard.
Where do you find inspiration in Sweden? Do you go for walks? Do you do nature stuff? Are you more introverted and watch movies and things?
All of that. But I probably should go out walking more than I do.
Shouldn't we all?
Yeah, but yeah, I find a lot of inspiration, well, through I want to say movies, but space has always been a big like interest of mine. So on this one, I even have a song about space. So there you go.
Well, I'm excited for everybody to hear the album. You know, those of us in the media sometimes get things early, but it's coming up in just a couple weeks.
Yeah, I don't know how many weeks are it. 2 or 3 weeks
Two
left.
left.
Two left. Oh, it's even closer. Oh, now I got nervous. No, no, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fun. And like you said, everybody can pre-order the album already from me directly, and I'm working on getting it out distributed as well. So I already have a few places where it's gonna be available.
Well, we'll put those links below.
Yeah,
Well, Jonas, thank you for taking the time. Very much looking forward to hearing more from the band and more from you and what people think of this album when it comes out. But we've already started playing it, so we'll see how it goes.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for having me.